welcome back to Dodgertown, historic Dodgertown in Vero Beach, Florida. And we are here for the Winners Bracket Championship game between the Chipola College Indians and the Seminole State College Raiders. First, the visiting lineup. We're trying to figure out this mixing board here. I have not been on this mixing board yet. We have our starting lineups for the visitors from Seminole State College, the Raiders. Leading off, center fielder number 2, Kate Kelly. Batting second, the left fielder number 6, Jordan Davis. Designated player number 22, Morgan Williams. She's actually probably going to end up pitching. Batting third. The shortstop, batting cleanup number 1, Stevie Ames. Third baseman, batting fifth, number 10, Aylin Kayada. Batting sixth, the first baseman, number 24, Claudia Pizzarelli. And batting seventh, the second baseman, Megan Langham, wears number 11. Batting eighth, the catcher, Kirsten Ossett, number 13. And batting ninth, the designated player, number 5, Caitlin Jones. The flex player is out in right field, number 21, Tammy Garcia. The home team for today's Winners Bracket Championship. The winner will move on to face the winner that comes out of the losers bracket, but they will also punch their ticket to St. George, Utah for the national tournament. So that's really what this is all about right now, is punching your ticket to the national tournament. The starting lineup for Chipola College, leading off, number 11, the center fielder, Dana Edmondson. Batting second, the right fielder, number 5, Gabriela Santos. Batting third, the catcher, number 8, Madison Reagan. Batting fourth, the second baseman, number 14, Naleli Lopez. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 10, Barana Sorrento. Batting sixth, shortstop number 12, Courtney Davis. Batting seventh, the designated player number 23, Lexi Bassford. Batting eighth, the left fielder number 25, Brooke Williams. And batting ninth, third baseman number 17, Ashley Morris. Alona Andringa is the pitcher for Chipola College. And Andringa, 107 ERA, 21-3 coming into the tournament. So should be a very, very good game. The winner will punch their ticket. So Reagan is the designated player. Bassford is the catcher. Thank you, Kyle. So that's the changes on the Chipola College side. Again, Reagan, the designated player, and Bassford, number 23, is catching. And Williams is pitching, and Caitlin Jones is the designated player, which is what I figured was going to happen, but you never know. Sometimes these coaches change their mind. So Kate Kelly will get things started. The center fielder will bat first for Coach Courtney Miller and the Seminole State College Raiders. Head coach Belinda Hendricks and Jimmy Hendricks for Chipola College. And we'll be back momentarily with first pitch. That ball tapped foul, so the count now 1-1 to start this game off. Kate Kelly, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty, so we're trying to make sure we get squared away. We'll get it figured out. Promise. Making sure that we're loud enough and that you can hear us. So we're going to be here with you all game, myself and Kyle. That one to shortstop off the glove. That's a tough error if they're giving her an error on that one. Going to her left. I don't know that she was going to be able to make that play anyways. And I'm usually the one giving errors, but I would probably give her a hit on that. So now we are going to see the number 2 hitter, Jordan Davis, snap throw down. Davis batting, squares to bunt, and that one's called a strike. Count 0-1 to Davis. Actually, that one bunted, caught, and the runner gets back. So an out recorded. 1 down, runner at first base. First pitch strike to Morgan Williams. Morgan Williams, the pitcher. Breaking ball. Throw down to second. Safe. In there for a stolen base for Kate Kelly. Count on Williams is 0-2. 1 out. Now the runner at second base. Now 1-2 to the Seminole State pitcher. Out there at second is Kate Kelly. That one popped up. Pitcher takes it. Back to second base goes the runner. She is safe, but there are now 2 outs. And Stevie Ames coming to the plate. Ames, .333 hitter with a couple home runs and 29 RBI. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. Snap throw down to second. Nothing doing there. Kyle, welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be back. I'm going to bring my volume down a little bit over here. Right there.
Yeah, I think you're good. That's perfect.
Sounds good to me.
You just have that strong, strong voice that just goes through. That one put in play and across for the out. That will end the inning. And we'll come back with the bottom half of the first. You're watching the FCSAA State Tournament Winners Bracket Championship right here with Scott Jamieson and Kyle Wilson. We'll be right back.
You're watching the 2016 FCSAA State Softball Tournament on the FCSAA YouTube channel. We'd like to thank Discover Vero Beach Inn and Suites for their hospitality this weekend. The Vero Beach Inn and Suites is a courtyard-style inn featuring 117 king, double, and one-bedroom suites that seat up to 6 guests, tropical landscaping with outdoor sitting areas, poolside tiki bar, full-service lounge, complimentary daily breakfast, fitness center, and meeting space to accommodate up to 200 guests. Thank you for Vero Beach Inn and Suites for their hospitality this weekend. Call them for your next stay in Vero Beach, 772-567-8321.
Sorry, Kyle, kind of distracted you there in the middle of that read. That wasn't very fun for you. Dana Edmondson leading off here, a 1-1 count on the leadoff hitter for Chipola. We've been doing this by ourselves for 2 days now. We have to try to coexist now. That's going to be a little bit different.
Trying to give you plenty of room over there.
Oh, I'm good. I wish I could see through walls. It would be X-ray vision would be perfect right now. It's okay though. I have the computer in front of me. I can look at that. 1-1. That pitch right in there for a strike.
Well, and we've also learned throughout the weekend that these windows are reflective, so you could just look off the window and.
That's true. You got to be able to look at the right thing though. I've been looking at the wrong player, thinking there's somebody on first when there's not.
Yeah.
See,
it has a tendency to happen.
She knows what's up. Yeah, it's. You're here long enough, you start to see things anyways.
No kidding.
That one drops in for a hit. May end up on second base.
Ames
and she will end up on second base.
That was Stevie Ames over there at shortstop. Not able to make that play. A diving layout, though.
Double for Edmondson. Now Santos will bat with a runner at second and nobody out. And we've got Santos. We'll see if she's going to try to throw one down, lay one down. Nope. Not yet, at least.
Santos averaging .273 for the tournament. In 3 games.
Chipola only had to play 3. Same thing with Seminole. That one is hit. It is ripped into the gap. Chipola College is going to score a run. Back-to-back doubles. And Chipola College is on the board first. And Kyle, Seminole State has been very stingy giving up runs. And now early, Chipola has put one on the board against them.
You know, Chipola is playing probably as good as anybody is in this tournament. I mean, when you come in and score 14 runs against the number 1 state overall team in the College of Central Florida and sending them to that loser's bracket game. I was asked before the game who I thought the favorite for this was, and I immediately said Chipola.
Well, they always seem to be there, and they're always they're well coached for one.
You had a stat about this game tonight.
Yeah, very interesting stat, actually. I'm glad you reminded me of that. It's Coach Courtney Miller was actually telling us. She was up here in the press box for a few minutes, and she's been at Seminole State for 22 years. This is the first time she's ever played Chipola, which is really hard to believe because they're both always in the state tournament, and they've never butt heads. The one year that they won the state championship, Seminole, Chipola got knocked out early. When Chipola's won, Seminole's been knocked out.
I just can't see how that's even possible with all of the preseason games that these teams play, with all of the traveling they do up and down the state of Florida.
There's only 20-something teams total.
There can't be that many teams that you find to play. But, of course, with the location of Chipola, they're able to bring in teams. Texas, I mean, I'm sure they're able to get teams.
And they travel more, too. You're right. You're exactly right. They travel to Texas and Idaho for tournaments, and they go all over the place to play. 1-2 the count to
Madison Reagan.
Reagan homered earlier today.
Reagan is actually leading Chipola for the tournament in batting average, merely at .714 average for the tournament.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
She should, work on getting a few more hits.
5 hits, 2 singles, a double, a triple, and a home run. 2 runs scored and 7 RBIs in 3 games.
And she's been walked a lot, too, I would imagine. I don't know if that stat's on there. Swing and a
5
miss.
bases on balls.
There you go. Well, she struck out on that one. So I think Morgan Williams maybe heard that and said, well, I'm going to try to lower her average a little bit. It probably came down quite a bit there because she didn't have a lot of qualifying at bats because of all the walks. And so 1 out, 1 on at second base. And Naleli Lopez
over at second base is Gabriela Santos.
Santos knocked in the first run. She doubled home Dana Edmondson, who also doubled prior to that. That pitch up for a ball. Count 2-0. Chipola striking early, something they've done this entire tournament. They've really made teams pay early on. That one hit down the line. Foul.
We've seen a few reach the parking lot down that way.
Yeah, they've been hitting the ball a long ways. Not a lot of home runs, but a lot of foul balls that have gone a long ways.
Certainly not a whole lot of home runs played from this field. As you can tell, wind blowing dead in from center field, and it has done that the last 2 days for us here on Field 8.
Pitch high. They get the runner in a rundown, and the ball gets away. They're going to hold her up at third base. It's almost like she intentionally got in a rundown and figured that Seminole State would make a mistake. So she'll move up to third base. And the count, I thought that I guess it's 2-2. Sorry, put up 3-1. It is only 2-2. Not 3-1. Well, either one of these teams would be a good representation of the FCSAA at the tournament in Utah. And there's an RBI single under the glove of a diving third baseman. And now it is 2-1 Chipola. Still with just 1 out off Morgan Williams, and this is the most runs she's given up in a game this tournament. And now she's given up 2 here in the first inning.
That's Lopez's 3rd RBI of the state tournament.
Some clutch hitting from the Indians, and it's just what they do.
Edmondson and Reagan have absolutely been on fire in this tournament.
They have.
Looking at the stats for batting, averaging both, actually. I was praising Reagan for her 714 average, but guess what? Edmondson has hitting 714 for the tournament as well.
Jeez Louise. Wow.
They've both got 5 hits in these 3 game opportunities.
Well, and you're not going to have as many counting stats a lot of times when you play less games, like RBI and hits and doubles. But when you look at the average, it's how consistent are they being? And they're being very consistent when they're getting up to the plate. They're knocking runs in, and they're taking advantage of their opportunities. So, you're going to compare them again to the teams that have already played 5 games. They're not going to have as many hits or doubles. But they have gotten it done when they've needed to. And that's what Chipola has done for the last just about decade. They won a national championship in 2007. So,
well, they've scored 26 runs in 3 games.
Not bad.
It's going to be tough to beat anybody.
It is. You're
when
right.
They scored 26 runs in 3 games.
Well, Florida Southwestern College put up a big total today, too. So some high-scoring teams in this tournament. Softball used to be a lot about who had the best pitcher, and the games would be 2-1, 2-0, 1-0, and now it has turned in. The game has developed. Teams are swinging for the fences more, lengthening their swings. They're not slapping and bunting nearly as much, and the game has changed, I think, for the betterment, probably for the crowd and for the spectators.
It's certainly
she went
has
around
been some
on that
entertaining
one.
Games.
Tipped it, actually. Yeah, there definitely has. Well, Michaela Wirahiku had 4 hits, was 4 for 4 with 9 RBI for Florida Southwestern State against FSCJ
That's
last
who we
game.
were talking about, the Cespedes-like numbers.
Yes, exactly. Speaking of that, the Mets won again, 6-5.
I'm sure my Braves lost again.
That Mets train keeps on rolling. Hey, the Braves will be all right in a couple years with Malik Smith, former Santa Fe College Saint, out there in center field for them. They'll be all right.
And former Vanderbilt Swanson.
That's right.
Over there at shortstop.
That ball in play. Another single, another hit off Morgan Williams. We'll see how long Coach Miller goes with Williams, because should they start to get behind too much, she will have to pitch her again tomorrow morning at 12. Well, tomorrow at around 12, 12:30 or so is when they would play. So it'll be, again, interesting to see how Coach Miller, 22 years, she knows what she's doing. So she'll have to just weigh her options on how long to go with Williams, who has been very hard to hit. She checks the runners, throws to first. A nice play by the second baseman to rein that one in. The runners will move up on the sacrifice bunt.
You know, you've seen that multiple times today, or multiple times this weekend, where the pitcher retrieves that bunt or a foul tip there right in front of the plate and has nearly thrown the ball away. That happened in the Central game yesterday that actually sent them to the loser's bracket. McGill, the top pitcher in the nation in ERA, threw away 2 balls that directly led to, I believe, 4 runs for Chipola. And I will say, you say Morgan Williams has been very tough to hit. I just watched Kirshner throw a game for Seminole not too long ago. Went complete game, looked very good. So she does have options, but
Absolutely.
Obviously you do want to have your ace on the mound or in the circle.
I keep saying that too. It's okay. I was saying,
you and I have done enough baseball this year.
I've called it mound meetings and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, we've done so many baseball games this year that it kind of gets stuck in your head. 0-2 the count. Runners at second and third. Fouled off, stays alive. That's Sorrento at second and Lopez at third. Courtney Davis sack bunt to move them both up, and now Lexi Bassford, the catcher. Foul ball back. That ball hit out into the outfield for a hit.
That scores 2 runs for the Indians.
So 2 runs come home for the Indians on that hit. And that was an RBI single. Now the score 4-0.
That's going to bring the left fielder, Brooke Williams, to the plate. Bassford now over on first. Safe over there at second.
Oh, wow. Looked pretty close. Looked like they might have her. And runner called safe on the stolen base. So early, Chipola up 4-0. And, well, Kyle, you said it from the beginning. You thought Chipola may be the favorite. Obviously, we're not picking favorites. We don't care who wins. But just looking at how they had played towards the end of the season.
And especially here at the tournament.
And their experience and the way they played early in the tournament. You know, I would have said Central Florida, especially after the first game, but just the way they had played all year. But they haven't had a real good run of success at this tournament. And I think the deeper fences and the wind plays mind games with them for some reason. They hit 88 home runs this year, and they average 9.7 runs per game.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, and then they come here and they score 3 runs combined in their last 2 games. It's really unbelievable to think about. That's a good word.
I haven't gotten to see much of Central Florida play this year. I've seen their stats and I've seen the box scores and things like that. My question is the field here really that much bigger than Central Florida's field?
Central Florida's field is 200. And
Okay.
This one's 220. Yeah, a lot
What
of
is
the
it at
fields.
Santa Fe?
200.
200?
Yeah, a lot of the fields in the FCSAA 200, but when you get to the national tournament and you get to the state tournaments, a lot of times they're playing at 220. Florida's field is 220, I believe. University of Florida, I think they're 220 all the way around. And 200 is the minimum, I believe, that you can have, and a lot of parks play at 200. And that 20 feet makes a difference. I mean, of those 88 home runs, how many of them went
right over
220?
The wall.
How many of them went right over the wall? Exactly. Maybe 25 or 30%, and that's a big difference. That one slapped to third, throw across, dug out for the third out.
That's a great pick over there by Pizzarelli at first.
So that'll end the inning. But Chipola, 4 runs put up on 3 hits, and we'll head to the top of the second. Chipola leads 4-0 over Seminole State College. We'll be right back with more from the FCSAA State Tournament. You're watching the Winners Bracket Championship game. The winner will clinch themselves a spot at the national tournament in St. George, Utah.
We're back here in the bottom half of top half of the second inning for Seminole State College. Seminole State versus Chipola. Chipola scores 4 runs in the first to take a 4-0 lead. Again, Chipola trying to earn a way to St. George, Utah for the national tournament here in just a couple of weeks. May 18th through 21st out in St. George, Utah. Leading off for Seminole State College, Ellen Kayada. Kayada leading off for Seminole State College. The pitch from Lana Adringa is a first pitch ball. Kayada, third base for Seminole State. She pops that up to Courtney Davis, the shortstop for Indian River, or excuse me, not Indian River, for the Indians, Chipola. It's going to be the first out of the top of the second. That's going to bring in Pizzarelli, number 24, the first baseman. She made that great pick there at first to end the bottom of the second, or bottom of the first. I'm having all sorts of issues.
That's okay. It has been a really, really long weekend. Like, for instance, I forgot to unmute my microphone when I started talking.
I'll say it's the mixing board because you're not used to the mixing board.
Thank you. Yes. Well, let's just call it that. That's not it. Thank you. But anyways, yeah, Pizzarelli made a really nice dig to. And you know what? If she doesn't get that and it goes to the fence or something, that could be a 10-run inning. Who knows? So 4 sounds bad, but honestly, you can come back from a 4-run game. If you let that thing go, you don't dig that out, it turns into a 6, 7, 8, 10-run inning. You're really in a lot of trouble. Nice play by the pitcher.
And Dringa there
to throw that one over.
Dringa.
Now 2 outs quickly for Indringa.
That's going to bring Megan Langham to the plate. Langham, second baseman for Seminole State College. Here you go. I might have taken your pencil, Scott.
Well, that's okay. I don't know what the heck I did with mine. No, I'll find mine here in a second. We're going to get this together.
I got it. I did steal it.
We are going to get this together. 2 outs. That pitch in there for a strike. And Indringa with a 4-run lead, you can afford to throw a few more strikes as well. Really hit that strike zone, let your defense work behind you. And she's quickly ahead 0-2 to Megan Langham after getting the first 2 out. Ball 1. 1-2. Seminole State looking for some base runners. Langham trying to make something happen for the Raiders. That pitch hit out towards center. Nope, and it just ends up, well, that one fooled me. I'm watching it here on the screen. I can't see too much, but that one caught by the shortstop.
That's Courtney Davis corralling that in.
That'll do it for the top half of the second. So we will move to the bottom half of the inning. Chipola College quickly back to bat, which is where they wanted to be. They were hot in that first inning, and they want to get the bats back in their hands. So we will see them come up next. Due to bat, Brooke Williams, Ashley Morris, Dana Edmondson.
You're watching the 2016 FCSAA State Softball Tournament on the FCSAA YouTube channel.
Back in beautiful Vero Beach, Florida at historic Dodgertown. Thank you to Jeff Biddle and the entire crew here at Dodgertown, Rick Hansen and Joey and all the guys for their support of this tournament.
It's going to be Ashley Morris, third baseman for Chipola, leading off the bottom of the second. Good night.
Not the 6th yet. Don't get ahead of things too quickly.
Called strike 1.
So Ashley Morris, the number 9 hitter. Chipola sent 8 players to the plate. She slaps one off the shortstop, so an E6.
That's Ames over there at shortstop.
It would have been a tough play, but she just wasn't able to come up and cleanly make it, and it will head back to the top of the order. Dana Edmondson will now bat against Morgan Williams. And when you're having the ball hit around on you like Chipola is, you have to make those plays that are going to get you outs when your pitcher gets a ground ball. It's tough to give free bases like that. The same thing with walks. When you're struggling, you don't want to walk anybody. You don't want to commit errors. And right there, again, it was not an easy play by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a play that probably should have been made and one that Ames typically makes. That one up and in.
Especially when you're already down 4-0, second inning. You can't put your pitcher behind the 8 ball like that.
Precisely.
Especially when Edmondson is one of those batters that I was telling you about earlier.
7-14.
7-14 average.
Yeah, not bad. She hits
and
that one
scored
to second.
6 runs.
Well, she's not going to be on base to score this one, but she does move the runner up to second, so she does her job. And now there's another runner out there in scoring position for Gabriela Santos, So 4-3 ground out for, that was Edmondson. Santos hits one out to left field. Caught by the left fielder. The runner will have to stay at second base. And quickly 2 outs after a leadoff error allowed Ashley Morris to reach.
It was Jordan Davis out there in left field with that catch.
So Davis making the routine plays that you've got to make. And now Madison Reagan steps up. She struck out swinging She takes a strike. Reagan hit a home run earlier today that was an absolute bomb through the wind over the left center field fence. It is 220 all the way around. And we appreciate you tuning in to this broadcast. This is the Winners Bracket Championship. That one popped up in the infield. Second baseman settles underneath it, makes the catch. That'll do it. We're headed to the top of the third. You are watching the FCSAA State Tournament. We appreciate you tuning in on the FCSAA Sports YouTube channel. Back in Vero Beach, Florida at historic Dodger Town, 1948 to 2008. Kyle, the Dodgers played their spring training games here, and pretty interesting reason they started playing their spring training games here.
I read that earlier. Apparently they were playing in Daytona Beach, just up the road here, and had some little bit of issues with racism.
And Jackie
Robinson,
yeah.
Some guy, I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
Who? Jackie Robinson? Was he famous? Was he a pretty good baseball player?
I guess so.
Yeah, well, that's not a knock on Daytona Beach, by the way. There's some idiots in Daytona Beach, obviously, that were causing problems for the Jackie Robinson.
So they up and moved down here to Vero Beach, bought an old naval base.
It's really neat. It's a really neat story, actually. And they were in like Havana, Cuba or something. Weren't you saying that earlier? They went for a year to Havana, Cuba for spring training or something like that. And then they moved. So that was the year in between when they bought the facility. I'm assuming they were probably having it renovated and a baseball field built and all that kind of stuff. And, quite a few decent players have come through here. Don Drysdale, Kirk Gibson, Oral Hershiser, Jackie Robinson, just to name a small handful of Dodger greats. I'm sure there's even more that came through here that played spring training games. Off-speed pitch, strike 3. And a strikeout of Kristen Osett. Swinging for the first out. Caitlin Jones, the designated player, will come to the plate. But, yeah, really neat. Really a lot of history here, Holman Stadium, and we need to get over there tomorrow and check it out.
I definitely want to go over and check out Holman. And actually, the namesake of the dugout over at Holman Stadium, the dugouts are actually dug into the ground.
Huh. Really? I did not know that. Wow, you watch our broadcasts and you learn something from Kyle Wilson, history teacher.
Happens you do a little bit of research about a game.
No one knows that without doing some research. So Kyle Wilson, PhD in research for this game. That's really neat. I prefer that old style of dugout that goes down and that a lot of teams, most teams still implement in the MLB. A lot of the college teams are getting away from it. They're just doing them field level. Santa Fe just changed theirs from dugouts to field level. I guess maybe that's the new thing to do.
So, kind of hard to believe, but so the Dodgers left here in 2008.
Right.
They were the last West Coast team to leave Florida.
So they finally made the trek out to Arizona, to be in the Arizona spring training.
They're
leagues.
at Camelback Ranch now in Glendale.
Well, they hung on for a lot longer, like you said, than anybody else did.
More than 60 years.
Wow. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Neat complex. And I like the fact that they've kept it operational. You know, they got a team playing at Holman now, and they've got this facility here, this beautiful facility that they host. They're hosting the FHSAA tournament on Tuesday. So they're keeping this thing active. They're keeping people coming through
they
here.
Host multiple high school events here. If you notice, I'm not sure if you've seen this, but there's a hole in the middle of the fence right in front of us here.
Yes.
They lift the scaffolding
scissor
up.
Lift.
To run,
they do scaffolding.
They do they might do a scissor lift, but they sit there and run a video camera from directly behind home plate.
That's what they were telling us last year. Tyler and I did not have access to a scissor lift or enough scaffolding to film from there, but that would be a pretty cool spot to film from. Ground out.
We'll have to look at that for next year.
For Caitlin Jones, 5-3 on the put out for the second out. Back to the top of the order, and Kate Kelly.
Not trying to cause you any more work here.
Oh, goodness, now I got to find a scissor lift. We better start raising money now, I guess. Now, this is a lot of fun. It's tiring, but it's fun. The women deserve it. They deserve to have a good product put out there. They deserve to have a tournament that fits a broadcast that fits the quality of play and the quality of people that they are. So I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to be here, and I know you are as well. And it's a good experience, really. And you learn a lot, really. I mean, doing these games,
you really do.
You learn a lot about the game. For one, I've learned more about softball the last 2 years being here and seeing it. Even though I work at Santa Fe and I've been watching it for 10 years, when you really have to engross yourself in it, you tend to learn a lot more.
When you sit in one spot and watch 20-something hours of softball over a weekend, that has a tendency to happen. Bryce,
my friend.
You have a good one?
Bryce has taken off. He's been the leader here helping us out. He's going to take off. And thank you, Bryce, for getting us our scorecards before the games. How much of a – holy smokes.
Made my life really easy.
Let me tell you
this
something. MVP.
Yeah, Bryce, MVP for the weekend.
Yes, Bryce MVP. There's actually a lot of MVPs in this office, but Bryce, just for our sake, getting us those starting lineups for the teams with all the reserves down at the bottom and the flex player listed with a scorecard attached to it. It's a beautiful thing, and it makes a broadcaster's life a lot easier to be able to just grab that and go. You don't have to write in your own scorecard and write in your own, although Kyle chooses to on his own. That's, you know what, you got your style. You got to do whatever's comfortable for you. I'm more of a, if you got it for me, I'm going to probably use what you have for me kind of a guy, and I'll figure it out as I go.
And you've also been doing broadcasts for a little bit longer.
A little bit longer. That's very true. So it's easier, and once you get to that point, you'll get it figured out too. Seminole State trying to hold Chipola at 4 runs. We are now into the bottom half of the third inning. Thank you.
Due up for the Indians, Naleli Lopez, second baseman, Verona Sorrento, and Courtney Davis all due up this inning.
It just doesn't get easy for the opposing pitcher against Chipola. Lopez, Sorrento, and Davis can all hit. Then you get down to the bottom third, and they can all hit too. Watched Ashley Morris rip a couple doubles earlier. She's in the 9-hole. So it's just really, there's no let-up when the Chipola College Indians are at the plate.
There was a first pitch strike from Caitlin Jones. Count 1-1 now.
Lopez singled, knocked in a run in the first, went all the way to third and was stranded. That one bunted.
There's another great play.
What a spectacular catch.
I'll tell you, we have had the hot corner there at third base. There has been some absolutely amazing plays made at third base. Brianna Ernst, Northwest Florida State, she put out 5 consecutive batters from third base in one game earlier this weekend.
Wow.
4 ground outs and a pop out.
Not bad. Well, we appreciate you tuning in and watching the game. We hope you're enjoying this broadcast right here on YouTube. That one put away for Seminole State as well. So just like that, 2 outs. And that's what Seminole State needs, is a quick inning. That's really the best possible situation.
What they need is a quick inning and to put up a few runs their next time up to the plate.
Very true.
Down 4-0. You've really learned this weekend, or at least I have, looking at this bracket, how difficult it really is to get out of the loser's bracket. Once you drop that first game, it's a uphill climb to get out of the loser's bracket and back into that winner side of the thing.
Yeah, it is. It's especially if you lose your first game, as some of the teams did, because then you're having to play back-to-back-to-back games, and it really just wears on you. That's what happened to Florida State College at Jacksonville. They just ran out of gas against Florida Southwestern State. It was their third game of the day, their third game in like 10 or 11 hours, and, you can only – I don't care if you're 19 years old or not. There's only so much you can do when it's 90 degrees out and it's 85% humidity.
Then they jump on you with a 12-run inning.
Right, and then they have one player put 9 RBI up on you. It makes it difficult. That one to short, across the diamond, and out. There's the call from the umpire.
There's another great stretch by Claudia Pizzarelli over there at first base.
Well, a quick inning that Seminole State needed. Now they've got to get the bats going if they want to get back in this one. We'll head to the top of the fourth. You are watching the FCSAA State NJCAA Region 8 tournament. The winner of this game will advance on to St. George, Utah, and the national tournament as well. Play for the state championship tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Back here at historic Dodger Town in Vero Beach, Scott Jamieson and Kyle Wilson. Kyle has been a lifesaver this weekend. Appreciate him coming up here. He brought an extra mixing board that we ended up needing. He brought an extra computer that we ended up needing. This whole technology thing, I don't know if I've fully bought into technology. Just in general. It's almost like more frustrating than it is anything else. But thank God we had 4 computers and 2 of them worked, and 3 mixing boards and 2 of them worked.
Well, as someone that runs a DJ company up in Gainesville.
Right.
Quick plug.
TDC Entertainment, is that the name of the company?
It might be. It might be TDC Entertainment up in Gainesville. But I do know all about that. It seems like you'll have everything up and running perfectly. Come back later on that day to check something, and you've dropped signal.
And you literally didn't move anything. You didn't touch anything. And that's the same thing that happened with our mixing board the other night. We didn't touch it. Just stopped working.
The always go-to is to turn it off and turn it back on.
Right. Let it reset, turn it back on. Technology likes to get finicky, I guess, sometimes. And then when you caress it by turning it off and telling it it's okay, that pitch up and away for a ball, it will come back on. But no, it's been a lot of fun, and those are problems you run into anytime. That's why you bring backups with you. And that's why you have extra cords and you have extra batteries, and you have you got to be ready for every problem that might arise.
Absolutely.
That play to first base for the out.
That's Jordan Davis, the first out of the top of the fourth. Bringing to the plate, Morgan Williams. Williams popped out to the pitcher in her first at bat, and that is lifted deep to right field. That's not going to come back. A long ball, the first one we've seen of the day here on field number 8 by Morgan Williams. Well, they've clawed back into this. Down 4-1 now. Seminole State College thank you. Seminole State is on the board. You took the words right out of my mouth. That was an absolute rocket So there's a home run for Morgan Williams. That's going to bring up Stevie Ames. Ames grounded to third, her first at bat.
With a home run by Morgan Williams, number 1 up the bat, Stevie Ames.
That ball is flied to left field. Coming in, Brooke Williams to make the play. 2 outs now.
Now batting number 10,
In the top of the fourth.
Kayada.
That's going to bring up Elin Kayada, number 10 for Seminole State College. Kayada is over playing third base for the Raiders. She takes a first pitch strike. Kayada in her last at bat popped up out to shortstop. Just foul.
Thank you, Kyle, for getting that home run. You know, I take my headphones off to talk to Jason for a second, and Morgan Williams hits an absolute. Turn around and look at the computer,
That
and
hit
she
the
hit
top of a palm tree, about
no doubter.
10 yards past the outfield fence.
Well, that was her 8th home run, so she does have a little bit of power, more than a little bit, a bit. If that's a word.
It is for tonight, at least.
That's strike 3. Sorry, I got a little bit behind there on the count, and that is the end of that half of the inning. We'll head to the home half, but before we do,
if you're looking for a wedding venue in the Vero Beach area, make sure you check out Vero Beach Inn and Suites. Their remodeled 3,100 square foot ballroom space holds up 200 guests. Let the Vero Beach Inn and Suites make your next gathering of friends and family a success. We're back here from historic Dodger Town in Vero Beach, Florida. Kyle Wilson and Scott Jamieson here on the broadcast. Due up for the Indians of Chipola College, Lexi Bassfort, Brooke Williams, and Ashley Morris. First pitch to Lexi Bassfort is called strike. Still in the circle for Seminole State College is Caitlin Jones. We'll welcome Scott back onto the broadcast.
thank you. I'm trying to get that camera fixed out there in center field. So we'll go to this top camera for now, and wanted to, well, it's 0-2, so let's see what happens with this pitch. Fouled back. If you are in the market for a home in Vero Beach, call Therese Polvin, 772-617-8103. Want to thank her for her support. Veralago by Tapestry Homes. Again, Therese Polvin. And she's at 772-617-8103.
There's a grounder out to second. Megan Langham corrals that over to Pizzarelli to retire Lexi Bassfort for the first out for Chipola in the bottom of the fourth. For those of you keeping score at home, that's a 4-3 put out of Lexi Bassort. Bringing to the plate, Brooke Williams, the left fielder, number 25 for Chipola. In her last at-bat, Williams grounded out to third base. A called strike, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. We're broadcasting from Dodgertown, Field 8. This is game number 27 on the weekend. We've got 30 games. We're in game 27. The winner's bracket, Chipola versus Seminole State College. The winner of this game makes their way, or solidifies their spot in the national tournament. There's a ground out to third for Brooke Williams. Kayada throws over to Pizzarelli. Bringing to the plate, Ashley Morris, third baseman, number 17. She reached first on an error by shortstop Stevie Ames last time at the plate.
Well, Morgan Williams, after hitting the home run, has come back out and gotten 2 quick outs. She retired all 3 in a row, and in fact, since an error in the second inning, she's retired 8 straight batters now for Chipola. 2-0 count here to Ashley Morris. But again, 8 straight batters. No strikeouts, a lot of ground outs for Williams.
Morris batting .400 for the tournament. 4 hits, 3 singles, and a double. She scored 4 runs.
That pitch at the top of the strike zone for a strike.
A late call there.
Yeah, that one was close. It was at the very top of the strike zone. There's another strike.
Full count. And 2 outs on Ashley Morris.
That one shoveled from the second baseman to the first baseman to end the inning, and another 1, 2, 3, and 9 straight set aside by Morgan Williams, and maybe Seminole State's got something going.
You are watching the 2016 Florida College System Activity Association Softball Championships here on YouTube. We'll be right back momentarily. Discover the Vero Beach Inn & Suites for your next visit to the area. Their rooms are oversized and comfortable with bright color palette, reminiscent of a quaint cottage feel. Their courtyard-style inn is a tropical landscape with outdoor seating areas and a pool. They will always help keep your budget in check without sacrificing comfort. Call for more information, 772-567-8321. That's 772-567-8321, just a quarter-mile east of I-95 off exit 147. Leading off, Claudia Pizzarelli, first baseman for Seminole State College. Pizzarelli grounded to the pitcher her last at bat. And there's a little blooper out past shortstop just over Courtney Davis's head for a hit. Pizzarelli starting off Seminole State with a no-out hit. So runner on first, Pizzarelli over on first, bringing in Megan Langham. Langham popped out to shortstop her last at bat.
Well, Pizzarelli's picking up where Morgan Williams left off. Williams hit a home run and got Seminole State on the board. So Pizzarelli now giving them a runner at first base with nobody out. And, you know, sometimes you have to start to put some pressure on the team. That's such a big part of the game, is putting pressure on the other team. Especially when you're down, you want to make them have to get them out of their comfort zone. That one fouled back off the mask of the catcher. Now, Chipola was comfortable being up 4-0. The pitcher, Andringa, was kind of cruising, and so you got to get her out of her comfort zone. It's kind of like in baseball, you want to get a pitcher into the stretch. If they've set down 6-7 in a row from their windup, you want to get them into their stretch. Obviously, it's not the same thing in softball, but you do want to get them out of their comfort zone and get them to where they're not just cruising without any sort of resistance. And Seminole has started to give them some resistance, led by Morgan Williams blasting one to right field. This is Megan Langham batting. Langham hits a high fly ball out to left field. It is caught. Brought into second base. The runner will go back, so there is now one out. And Kirsten Osett will bat with one out and a runner at first base. The first pitch is a strike from Andringa to Kirsten Osett. Osett struck out back in the third. Foul. Osett now 0-2, one out, runner at first. Andringa at the back of the circle. Takes a ball on that one.
Pizzarelli over at first. Kirsten Osett.
That pitch popped foul.
It's over in field number 9.
This is the winner's bracket championship. The winner will advance to the state championship game, as well as earn a spot at the NJCAA National Tournament in St. George, Utah. And that's the prize that both teams are going for in this one, a spot at that tournament. And it is an unbelievable experience. I got to do it in 2012 at the Canyons Complex out there in St. George, Utah. You fly into Las Vegas, drive about an hour through some of the most beautiful desert you've ever seen, and then you get to play with mountaintops in the backgrounds behind you, and there's all sorts of national parks with mountains, and it's just really a cool experience. So if your team makes it, I would recommend, especially if you have a daughter or a niece or a granddaughter on the team, to go ahead and do it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime type experience. Just do it. Go out there. Spend the money. You can get cheap flights into Vegas, right?
I was about to say, I'm sure it was really tough for you to have to go through Vegas.
It was, I hadn't really been there, and it's not, I'm not a huge crowds person, and it's a pretty crowded place, but it's definitely a neat, that's another place you should probably go once in your life. You know, you got to go check it out. It's it's just unbelievable. You can go there and just walk around. That's what I did half the time. I just walk. I think I walked like 30 miles when I was there. You just walk and take everything in. It's an unbelievable place.
One of my very good friends just did a cross-country trip where he took a little vacation and actually drove back from California. He flew out and then drove back across country back to Gainesville. And he stopped in Vegas, got a suite at the Hard Rock for $49 a night.
Oh, yeah.
And enjoyed himself. He did not go gamble because
you don't have to.
He knows his personality.
Nice pitch. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not a gambler either. I didn't gamble when I was out there. It's really just, honestly, you're out there walking around. You're just seeing everything. You're going in the casinos. You're going in and seeing all the sights, driving around. It's a really cool, it's a neat, and there's a lot of history there as well with the western part of the United States. And I, again, would encourage people to go to St. George, Utah, and check that out. That was a swing and a miss on that strikeout. And Dringa rings her up. The runner still at first base. That is the 4th strikeout for Andringa. Besides that home run to Williams, she's done a good job neutralizing this Seminole State College team. Leadoff single this inning by Pizzarelli, and she's been stranded for the time being on first base. Caitlin Jones trying to do something about that. That pitch, I guess, missed low. Caitlin Jones, the number 9 hitter, the designated player, stands in there. Two 2-1 pitch. Outside, now 3-1. Good eye by Jones. That one fouled out of play onto the netting. This netting is neat here at Dodgertown because you're not having to always constantly hear heads up and look and having balls flying at your head. I have it all around the entire field installed. It's a nice safety feature for the fans. That one caught by the shortstop. Nice defensive play to end the inning. So a leadoff single is stranded at first base. That was Claudia Pizzarelli. And no runs, 1 hit, 1 left on. We will head to the bottom half of the 5th. Chipola coming to bat with the leadoff hitter Dana Edmondson leading off, followed by Gabriela Santos and Madison Reagan. We'll be right back. You're watching the FCSAA State NJCAA Region 8 tournament right here on the FCSAA Sports YouTube channel. First pitch of the inning from Morgan Williams to Edmondson is in there for a strike. That one goes over Edmondson's head, Randy Johnson-like. Edmondson doubled and scored in the first and then grounded out to second in the second inning. To first base, stepped on the bag, and an out. That's 10 straight put away by Morgan Williams. Chipola has not had a hit since, let's see here, the seventh batter of the game. That's it. We got one out, 0-1 count, nobody on. Morgan Williams in the circle facing Gabriela Santos. She thinks about it, but lays off for a ball. Well, we've had a lot of fun here at the tournament and a lot of good games and good teams, and we are getting down to the end of this tournament. Just a few teams remaining. We will have some games tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Have one game. There's a hit out to right field, and that breaks the streak of 10 straight retired by Morgan Williams, and Gabriela Santos now at first base with a single. Madison Reagan will now bat. Tomorrow morning at 10, Northwest Florida and Florida Southwestern State will play with a chance to play the loser of this game. So again, the loser of this game will play the winner of Northwest Florida and Florida Southwestern State at 12. So Florida Southwestern State and Northwest Florida State will play at 10, and then the winner of that will play the loser of this. Jason's looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm trying to explain all this. There's a lot of Floridas that I have to say. So that's what's going on. There's a game at 10, 12, and 2 tomorrow. That's what the people need to know, right? Jason will be broadcasting every single one of those. That's really the important information. 1-1, the count, one out, runner at first is Gabriela Santos. She's singled to right. Madison Reagan at the plate. Reagan 0 for 2. Strikeout and a pop out to second. Pitch high. 2-1. Two, one out. Down and in, now 3-1. So Williams, after retiring 10 straight, has given up a single, and now 3-1 to Reagan. I think she's showing Reagan some respect. Reagan came into this game, I should say, hitting .714. That one tapped foul on the third baseline to even the count at 3-2. Four to 1, Chipola lead. Bottom of the fifth. Winners bracket championship game. That one hit out to left field. And it falls in for a hit. No man's land. No one could get to it. First and second. Now, after back-to-back hits, Naleli Lopez now batting with runners at first and second. Lopez singled in the first, knocked in a run, and then popped out to third. First pitch, a strike to Lopez. Gabriel Santos at second, Reagan at first. That one bobbled by the shortstop, and the bases are loaded after an error. And she got ahead of herself thinking about a double play. The runners will all be safe, and the bases are loaded. An E6 on that one. Now Barana Sorrento will bat with the bases loaded. She walked. No, excuse me. She singled in the first. I can't even read my own handwriting, Kyle. and
Has
then
it been
grounded out to third.
It hasn't been that long of a weekend yet.
Goodness, not yet.
Of course, you might have the Tom Collette handwriting.
It's pretty close.
It really is. It's very close. Shout out to Tom Collette.
Yeah, it's Tom Collette.
Glad
That one hit deep. It is out of here. Grand slam for Barana Santos. That is going to be a grand slam, and she now has 5 RBI in the game to go along with that grand slam. She just hit that a ton. Cleared the bases, and it is now 8-1 after that grand slam from Barana Santos. Well, Kyle, we were saying hadn't seen a lot of home runs. Well, there's a grand slam.
We've now had 2 in this game.
One by Seminole's Morgan Williams, the pitcher, and then that one by Sorrento.
And both of them were absolute no-doubters.
Yeah, that one was out of here from the get-go. And
the
8-1.
one by Williams hit the top of a palm tree. So
this is Chipola putting on a clinic over the last few days. Hitting the ball, pitching, and they've just really come to play.
And they could end this inning.
They could with one more run and the game would be over. You are correct. I was not even thinking about that. I feel like Seminole State deserves better than that, but shoot, Chipola probably deserves to win like that. You know, the way they've been playing, it's you know.
I kind of did math wrong. When I motioned to you when she hit that home run, I thought that was 8.
Oh, I got you. I got you. You thought it was over. Okay, I see what you're saying.
But that sneaks through. Ames is not able to make that play at shortstop. That ball was hit hard too, though.
And not sure. We'll see what. See what they rule on that one. That was a hit for Courtney Davis, the shortstop, and now Lexi Bassford will bat. But there's going to be a pitching change first. So we'll step away for a moment. We'll come back with that pitching change right here at the FCSAA State Tournament.
Thanks, Scott. Putting me on the spot there. Now pitching. DP and the pitcher swapping.
That looks like it is Caitlin Jones now pitching.
So that's the switch that will happen just before the game. So now Morgan Williams, the designated player, and Caitlin Jones now pitching for Seminole State College.
Sorry, Kyle. I just wanted to put you on the spot there and, you know, see what you could do right there. But neither one of us were ready for that. Caitlin Jones is in to pitch. Jones comes in having appeared in 11 games, a 2.81 ERA, 37 and a third innings, 26 strikeouts.
She's a freshman from Orlando, Florida, at a Dr. Phillips High School. So now we got it.
Yeah, we're all there.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, you're probably right. So that is the second strike. Count 1-2.
Kristen Thomas.
And one out, 1-2 count. This is Lexi Bassford up to bat, the catcher. Number 23. Rise ball high. Now 3-2 to Bassford. Bassford reached in the first and then stole second. And then grounded out to second base in the 4th inning. It's that one from her knees, makes the throw. Nice play. Runner advances to second, but they get the second out, which was the important part of that one. Really, if you're Seminole, you were trying to get out of this inning without letting that run score, because otherwise the game is over. So you have to get an out, and you'll exchange an out for a base in that situation. But anything hit by Brooke Williams into the outfield has the potential to score Courtney Davis for the winning run. Pitch out of the zone. There's a 1-1 count, 2 outs. Trying to get out of this inning is Seminole. That one hit. The third, actually the shortstop, knocks it down. Base hit. First and second now, so a base hit for Brooke Williams. Runners at first and second. Now Ashley Morris, chance to win the game.
Morris, 0 for 2 on the day. She reached on an error by Ames in the second, and in the 4th, grounded out to second base. Count 1 ball, no strikes to Brooke Williams, the Indians' left fielder. Tell you what, I just did a loop of the press box down by the field level, and as well as the Indians are playing, it is still tough to hear that war chant.
I know. Being from Gainesville.
Yeah,
Not
a big fan of.
You know what? The way they're playing, they can do whatever. And that one
and
hit
that
out into
they're
left
sending her
field.
home.
They're going to send her.
Play.
She
She's
is out
at the plate.
Nice throw from the left fielder.
That was Jordan Davis out in the left field with the hose.
Great throw. And, well, you can't blame them for trying to send her. That would have ended the game. And instead, we will go to the top half of the 6th. Great throw by Jordan Davis to keep Seminole State in the game. They'll get a chance to bat now, and you never know. Anything can happen. Listen, Yoenis Cespedes had 6 RBI in 1 inning, so a 7-inning game. I know I had to bring that up one more time. But a 7 runs is not out of the realm of possibility.
If Cespedes played for Atlanta, I'd be all right with that.
If you're a Seminole State fan, don't give up hope. Keep it right here. Seminole State coming to bat in the top half of the 6th. We'll be right back.
You're watching the FCSAA on YouTube.
Welcome back to historic Dodger Town. And from Vero Beach, in Vero Beach, I should say.
Top of the order for Seminole State, Kate Kelly, Jordan Davis, and Morgan Williams. Due up for the Raiders in the top half of the 6th inning.
Well, Jordan Davis kept him in the game by throwing out the runner at home. It would have been over. It would have been an 8-run rule. And Chipola would have punched their tickets to St. George. But as we stand now, it's not over. Seminole State with a chance, and that's all you can ask for at this point is a chance. Get something going, get a rally going, maybe get 3 or 4. To short. The throw gets away, and the runner will go to second, like I said. You never know. And now there's a runner out on second base.
In scoring position with no outs for the Raiders is Kate Kelly.
So an E6 is the ruling there, and then an extra base on top of it.
Now batting number 6, Jordan Davis.
So now Jordan Davis, the one that kept the game going for Seminole State.
That great throw from left field. Davis 0 for 2, sac bunt, and a ground out to third base.
The umpire talking about something. Now we're ready to go. That's Kate Kelly out there at second. Jordan Davis now batting. Davis hits one to the first baseman. She's tagged out. The runner advances to third. So she at least moved the runner up to third base, but at this point you need more than that, and Chipola will definitely sacrifice an out for a runner advancing.
Morgan Williams.
Now Morgan Williams will bat. She hit a home run back in the 4th.
Popped out to the pitcher in the first. It was a little more than just a home run.
Yeah, she hit it a long way.
It was a absolute bomb.
1-0 count to Williams. We'll see how they approach her in this at bat. Up 8-1, you think they'd go right after, and they do. That one they'll shovel. Safe!
And that's going to score a run for Seminole State.
So Seminole State gets another one on the board, and they're starting to chip away. Morgan Williams, she's actually the offensive player now and not the pitcher. Caitlin Jones is now pitching. She hustles down, slides in safely at first. We'll see what Coach Courtney Miller is going to do here, making a change.
Now batting number 1, Stevie A.
It's going to bring up Stevie Ames, shortstop for Seminole State College. Ames, a freshman from Claremont, Florida, Foundation Academy. About to find out a change from the umpire.
.20.
21.
So Tammy Garcia, who is the flex, Tammy Garcia is the flex player, is going to run for Morgan Williams.
Garcia's been playing out in right field.
Yes, Garcia, the right fielder, and the flex running. And Stevie Ames coming to the plate. Ames is 0 for 2.
I'm still working out all the flex player and offensive player, defensive player.
There's a lot to it. There's a lot of strategy to it as a coach. And they're going to, let's see, flip the camera and see if we can see what's going on. They're coming out to talk to Coach Courtney Miller. She's with the umpires there. And let's see. Now the umpires will huddle it up and talk it over.
Wonder if someone forgot to re-enter the game.
And it might be what they're talking about now, and because it is the flex, and it's all sorts of stuff. I need to get Coach Ahern on the phone right now. I bet she'd be able to explain exactly what's going on. She'd probably say, this is what it is, this, and this. She knows Coach Miller. They're friends. She probably knows already what Coach Miller's saying. Down there, they're going to go back.
Coach Miller making her way back out to the field of play.
Okay, I think we're okay. We're all set.
We got the thumbs up from the home plate umpire, so should be good to go.
So Williams is the DP, and the flex can only run for the DP. So the flex is coming in. There's no courtesy runner. That's only high school, I believe. But the flex can run for the DP. So that's why Garcia is in running for Williams. First pitch was a strike to Ames. Pitch outside. 1-1. One count, 1 out. Runner at first. That one hit pretty well, but foul. That one was hit good. One gets foul, 1-2. It sounded good coming off the bat.
Well over the left field wall, but
just a little bit, a hair out in front. She waits on that one. She hits it out, and we've got ourselves a ball game.
Just a bit outside.
Yeah, just a bit outside of that foul pole. So Ames will step back in. Again, we appreciate you tuning in on the FCSA Sports YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Maybe updates on games and time changes of live events and stuff like that. That one popped out to the second baseman. Runner will hold. Now there's 2 outs.
That's going to bring it. Pinch hitter, Kayla Villegas, number 20.
Yeah, Kayla Villegas will bat, and
from Deltona, Florida.
For Aylin Kayada. Ames pops out now. Kayla Villegas.
I wonder if there's any relation to Camilo. Probably not. Highly unlikely.
Oh, yeah. The golfer from Florida.
Yep.
Could be. You never know. That pitch in there for a strike. There's 2 outs. There's a runner at first base. That is Tammy Garcia, who is running for Morgan Williams, who hustled down the line, slid in safely at first. That one hit to third, bobbled, safe at second. So I think an E5. I don't know.
They're giving it a hit.
They're going to give it a hit, okay.
That was hit hard. It would have been a very tough play over there at third base.
Vegas appreciates that. And now Claudia Pizzarelli is due to bat. We'll see. Pizzarelli now in there.
Claudia Pizzarelli. 1 for 2 on the day.
She lays one down, and the bases are loaded. Wow. Wow. Well, hold on. What are they calling? We'll see what the call is. They said she might have been out of the box when she hit it, or did the ball hit her? Well, we're going to wait and see what the umpire rules. We have not actually seen what the ruling is. Now, we'll have to ask the umpire between innings if we can to get a ruling, because Coach Courtney Miller is still trying to get an explanation as well. At any rate, we're going to the bottom of the 6th. And I don't think she's real happy, but if we can get an explanation, that would be great. We'll try to let you know when we get back. You're watching the FCSAA state tournament right here on the FCSAA Sports YouTube channel.
This is Kyle Wilson back here. Apparently that last out, the runner was hit by the ball, or hit the ball as she was out of the box already. No?
No, what I think they're saying, which it was a confusing explanation, she bunted it, and as she ran, the ball hit her in fair territory, and so she's out. If the ball hits you while you're in fair territory, if a ball that's in fair territory hits you, I think that's what they're saying. Although you could be right, and either way, it would be an out.
There's a lot of confusion up here in the press box right now.
So Pizzarelli was out. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
Did not see that pitch. I was writing down that one on Pizzarelli, so we'll see. The umpire will give us a count after this one. That pitch in on the corner for a strike. And the count is... okay.
He's not going to give us a count.
Not giving us one yet.
There's a second strike. So it's got to be a ball because he didn't ring her up.
So 1-2 the count. Edmondson at the plate, leadoff hitter, is 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. Hits that one out to left for a base knock the other way. The ball, trouble picking it up. Edmondson goes into second, so it'll be a single, and then an error on the left fielder who bobbled the ball around, never picked it up. And Edmondson ends up on second, heads up base running.
You know, I've seen a handful of really, really heads up base running, but there's also been some very poor base running.
Yeah, you're going to get that, I think, with 30 games or whatever it is.
Good point.
You know, I think
have
you're going to
watched
have some.
Couple games this weekend.
That one in down the line. The runner comes to the plate and scores. And it is now 9-2. And that run out there at second represents the winning run of the game.
Going to bring up Madison Reagan.
So Madison Reagan with a chance to win it.
Reagan, 1 for 3 on the day. Struck out in the first, popped to second in the second inning. And in the fifth, singled and came around to score on the grand slam by Barana Sorrento. So count 1 ball, no strikes to Edmondson.
That pitch in there for a strike.
Or correction, to Reagan, not Edmondson. Sorry.
Edmondson already scored.
She did.
She came around on the single by Santos. Santos advanced to second on the throw, which should have probably gone to second base. That pitch is up. Now 2-1. Again, the winning run out there at second base. Chipola College, 1 run away from advancing to St. George. That ball hit to the shortstop, diving stop, up with the throw. The ball gets away.
That might end
The
it right
runner
here.
may come all the way home.
She will.
And that is going to be your ball game. Chipola College wins 10-2 and has advanced to the NJCAA tournament. Seminole State College is not out of it. They will play tomorrow at noon against the winner of Florida Southwestern State College and Northwest Florida State College. That game will take place at 10. We'll be broadcasting that one, then broadcasting the game at 12, and then broadcasting the FCSAA State Championship game. Now, the game at 12 is going to determine the other representative from the FCSAA at the national tournament. Right now, Chipola College has advanced to the NJCAA tournament. Still one more team to go. I know that sounds confusing, Kyle. There are still 4 teams left. 3 of them are going to be battling it out for a spot at the NJCAA tournament. One of them has already clinched. That's Chipola College. They're in. Florida Southwestern State College, Northwest Florida State College, and Seminole. What do you think? What if you had to pick? What do you think? Who's been playing the best? Who do you think is going to make it?
I think Northwest Florida.
You think so?
Just simply because of how they've played throughout the season. They've just been so good, so consistent throughout the season.
It's tough because all 3 teams are good. That's the thing. All 3 teams deserve to go. Unfortunately, only one of them could go. Chipola's played the best in this tournament. They're going, and rightfully so. They've played very well. They've put up double-digit runs in 3 games, and they're going. They deserve to go. Seminole State has played excellent until this game. Does one game mean much? May not. They may come out tomorrow. They've only got to win 1 to go to the national tournament, and they're going to get a team coming off of a game at 10 o'clock. So you could throw Kirchner out there. You could throw Williams back out there to pitch. It'll be interesting to see
I think
what they
you got
do.
to throw Kirchner. I mean, the way she threw in that first game today, I mean.
That may be why she didn't appear in this one. They're saving her, and Coach Miller's been at it for 22 years at Seminole. She knows what she's doing. She held Kirchner back and said, you know what, in case we have to play tomorrow at 12, we'll hold Kirchner back.
Because then she'll have an option to be able to play and pitch Williams again.
In the championship game, should they make it to the state championship game. So
tell me this. I do have a question. So obviously that game tomorrow is going to send someone to the NJCAA tournament. So is that championship game, like, it seems like
it's for the trophy. It's for the bragging rights, and it's for the FCSAA championship. So it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with qualifying for the tournament, but you want to win it. You want it. You made it all the way to the end. When Santa Fe won it in 2008, that was an important game to them. Yes, you qualified for the tournament. You kind of put that out of you. That's your initial goal. It's kind of like at the beginning of the season, your goal is to win your conference. You win your conference, now your next goal is to advance to that puts you in the state tournament. Really qualifying for the state tournament is the first one, then winning your conference, then going to the national tournament in the winner's bracket, and then now you want to win a state championship. You want to get those rings. You want to be able to wear that ring around and have that state championship. So, yes, does it mean anything in terms of national tournament qualification? Not necessarily, but it's the bragging rights, and it's saying you're the champs. I mean, that's where it comes in to play. You know, it's sort of like with the SEC. I'm trying to think of a comparison. SEC baseball, you don't necessarily have to win the SEC tournament to go to the NCAA tournament. But it's kind of nice. You win that, you get a ring, it makes a big deal. So we'll be back tomorrow at 10. We're going to end this one here. Congratulations to Coach Belinda Hendricks, Coach Jimmy Hendricks, and the entire Chipola College team. They deserve it. They've played well. They will be representing the FCSAA. They'll be a great representative out in St. George, Utah. They won it all last year. They're going for back-to-back state championships. They'll be in the championship at 2. We'll have to find out who they play out of Northwest Florida State College, Florida Southwestern State College, and Seminole State College. We'll be back at 10. Kyle, me and you doing this thing with Tyler and Jason and Christina. It's been fun. One more day, 3 more games.
I look forward to it.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you on behalf of myself, Kyle Wilson, Tyler Allen, Christina Jason, and, of course, Jeff Biddle, Dodger Town crew, Laurel Sue Smith, and Kelly Warren, the head of the FCSAA.
You've been watching the 2016 FCSAA Softball Championships on YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow.